In 1994, Marvel launched the Marvel Action Hour, a syndicated television block featuring animated adaptations of Fantastic Four and Iron Man. Airing from September 24th, 1994 to February 24th, 1996, the show aimed to capitalize on the success of X-Men and Spider-Man animated series respectively. However, its first season stumbled with lackluster animation, simplistic writing, and a kid-centric approach that alienated older fans. By 1995, the second season, rebranded as Marvel Action Universe, in some markets underwent a dramatic overhaul, delivering improved animation, mature storytelling, and a closer alignment with the source material. A standout element of this transformation was the new Iron Man theme composed by the late Keith Emerson, which set a dynamic tone for how the Marvel Action Hour transformed from a disappointing debut to a compelling showcase. The inaugural season of the Marvel Action Hour was a mixed bag. Each episode paired a half hour of Iron Man and a half hour of Fantastic Four, often introduced by Stan Lee, who provided context about the characters and their cosmic origins. While the intent was to replace the success of X-Men, the execution fell extremely short. The Fantastic Four series in 1994 leaned heavily into a kid-friendly tone. The animation handled by Wang Film Productions was often criticized for being crude and inconsistent, with characters frequently going off-model. The writing, primarily by Ron Friedman of G.I. Joe and Transformers, prioritized silly dialogue and random humor over the nuanced storytelling of the comics. For example, the episodes featured odd moments like Johnny Storm rapping or the team's landlady attempting to evict them, which felt disconnected from the epic scope of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's source material. Actually, I meant Jack Kirby's source material.
This titan of comic book art collaborated with Stan Lee to create the Fantastic Four and many more. Matt.
What's Kirby?
Yes, Jack Kirby.
While the show adapted classic stories like the introduction of the Silver Surfer and Galactus, the execution was lackluster with shallow character development and rushed pacing. Fans and critics alike found the first season forgettable, with reviews describing it as super camp and only enjoyable by kids. And even Marvel Comics got in on the action when poking fun at the Fantastic Four first season. Iron Man faced similar issues. The first season centered on Tony Stark leading Force Works, a team including War Machine, Spider-Woman, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and Sentry, as opposed to U.S. Agent, battling the Mandarin and his villains. However, the animation was stiff with excessive use of stock footage to cut costs, and the plots were formulaic, i.e. the Mandarin would devise a world domination scheme, Force Works would bicker, and the team would resolve their differences to save the day. Yawn. The voice acting featuring talents like Robert Hayes as Tony Stark was undermined by clunky dialogue. The season's focus on original stories rather than comic adaptations distanced it from the rich mythology of Iron Man's comic lore, with only the origin of Iron Man 2 part of modernizing Tony's backstory effectively. The original theme music, composed by William Kevin Anderson, was serviceable but lacked the energy needed to elevate the show. Fans noted the horrendous animation and childish plots, with the first season earning a reputation as, quote, dreadful. Why Season 1 struggle? Well, the primary issues with the 1994 season was rooted in its production choices. The animation studios prioritized cost saving over quality, resulting in dated visuals compared to contemporaries like Batman the Animated Series. The writing aimed at a younger audience lacked the depth to engage older comic fans, and the syndicated format led to inconsistent scheduling, making it hard for viewers to follow. Marvel's attempt to replicate X-Men's success felt rushed, and the lack of fidelity to the comics alienated the core audience. However, in 1995, the Marvel Action Hour underwent a radical retooling for its second season, driven by new creative leadership, notably by supervising producer Tom Taranowicz. Both Fantastic Four and Iron Man received significant upgrades, transforming them into a more mature as well as visually appealing comic accurate series.
Perfectly content, perfectly ordered world, all under the benevolence of my iron will.
Now, according to Larry Houston's page, he said he was recruited to lead the successful X-Men series to bring the same success to the Fantastic Four to its second season. Quote, that second season is proof that having respect and love of the original classic FF works of Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, those stories can be successfully adapted to television. I worked with both my heroes and I'm very proud of this finished series, especially the fact that I got to do the very first animated appearance of a Black Panther in both the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Also, I depicted and adapted the Inhuman storyline into the series just as Jack and Stan created it. End quote. Episodes drew from the classic Fantastic Four comics, introducing characters like the Inhumans, Black Panther, and Daredevil, but with greater depth. For instance, and the blind man shall lead them through pregnancy plan for hypothetical third season. Fans praised the season for its fidelity to the source material, and reviews noted it finally did justice to Jack Kirby's vision, with new additions like Homer, Tony's AI assistant, before AI became popular, of course. The writing comic storylines like Armor Wars and Hands of the Mandarin, giving the series a more serialized structure. Two-part finale provided a compelling season-long narrative. Tony's character design completed after 2 seasons, likely due to declining ratings from the weak first season, poor syndication scheduling, and Marvel's bankruptcy in the mid-1990s. However, the second season's quality, enhanced by Keith Emerson's Iron Man theme, left a lasting impact. Both series are now available on Disney+. Iron Man's second season influenced later appearances in Spider-Man, the animated series, and The Incredible Hulk. Fans have expressed nostalgia for the series, with some calling for an X-Men 97 style revival. The series' journey from 1994 to 1995 is a testament to the power of creative reinvention. While the first season struggled with poor animation and simplistic writing, again, the second season's drastic overhaul brought the Fantastic Four and Iron Man closer to their comic roots. Though it never reached the heights of X-Men or Spider-Man, unfortunately, the second season showcased Marvel's potential to tell compelling animated stories, which served as a blueprint to Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, another series that was canceled way too soon. So as we revisit these episodes on Disney+, the transformation of the Marvel Action Hour remains a fascinating case study in how it shows